Let's move on to some other stories now. And the city of Joburg is embarking on Operation Buyamthetho. It hopes to recoup about 38 billion rand in unpaid bills. But Ian Ferguson, who helps people with their bills, says the city should first sort out its billing crisis. Now, he says numerous claims and complaints are still open and unresolved.
The billing crisis within the city of Joburg is absolutely crazy. As people are aware, there's issues of accounts that have not been sorted out. The city has a fundamental problem where accounts that have been flagged and queried with incorrect billing, be it for electricity, be it for water, be it for rates and taxes, or incorrect tariffs that are being charged to clients, these are just not being rectified. The city's bylaws are clear in the aspect that the city has a responsibility to ensure that queries on bills need to be sorted within 14 days, and this needs to be done in writing. The city is failing to do this. And the big problem that I've found with this over the years is that there is a lack of understanding within the city of Joburg, from your walk-in centres all the way through to accounts, where people do not understand on how or what to do with outstanding queries.
And then the city of Johannesburg will only be cutting off customers whose unpaid bills are not in dispute. Mpho Palatse, who's the Joburg mayor, says that she inherited a huge billing crisis when she took office.
We do have some customers whose bills are not yet correct. And for those customers, we're not cutting them off. We are sorting out their bills. But the long-term solution, of course, is to get the billing system right. And that is very high up on our agenda. You'll recall that we were in government between 2016 and 2019, inherited a huge billing crisis. We had 100,000 billing queries that we inherited. In the 3 years, we managed to bring that number down to 9,000. And what we were also doing is we were also implementing a long-term solution. However, there were issues with the service provider and we were taken backwards. In the last 2 years, it looks like there's been a regression in that space, something that we're working very hard to correct. But there are those customers whose bills are not in dispute. And for those customers, unfortunately, if they're still owing us money and they're still not responding after we've issued pre-termination notices, we will be cutting them off.
Now, water supply will be reduced in parts of Johannesburg today. Areas in the north and the west and the south will experience reductions of up to 40%. Now, this is because an urgent city power maintenance at Rand Water's Eikenhof pump station. eNCA reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones is monitoring the situation and joins us now for the latest on this particular operation. Pule, many thanks for your time this afternoon. A little bit of frustration, I would assume, from residents in the affected areas. But of course, maintenance is something that's absolutely essential to infrastructure within the province.
Well, one would also say that entrepreneurs and businesses will be affected by this particular challenge of Freya. And what we understand is that the transformer, 1B transformer, is currently undergoing urgent maintenance. This operation will take place from 6 to 3:30, in which water will be reduced to about 33% to 40%, meaning that some of the areas in the southwest of Johannesburg will be impacted by this, from receiving poor supply of water to almost nothing. And these are the challenges that are coming with this maintenance. We do know that this will also again kick in on the 5th of March under the same timelines of 6 to 3:30, where the of course the maintenance on the 2B transformer will be taking place at Eikenhof in Johannesburg. But where we're standing now is a water tank, a JoJo tank, where residents were told to come and get some water. This is in Melville. Now, various areas on the Rand Water page on Twitter have, of course, been alleging, and of course on their website as well, giving people updates as to where they can go and receive water alternatively from these tanks. So we just want to try and see if there is proper running water here, Rofewa. And as we can see that there is clean running water coming out of this tank here, and the supply is quite good. But the problem is there seems to be a hole here on this tank. And what that has done now is that it has leaked and created water to start running down the street. And luckily enough, there isn't much residents here that have come to collect, water this afternoon. But we'll be seeing them during the peak times as well, we're being told, around 2:30 today. And these are some of the issues that residents would think should be looked into. But you'd remember that there is the National Water Summit currently taking place in Randburg. Now, one of the key issues, the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Senzo Mkhunu, of course, he's seconded by the Cocta Minister, Dlamini Zuma, and of course Toko Tidiza, the Human Settlement Minister. He's saying municipalities have been complaining about the aging infrastructure. So this is one aspect that the summit will be looking into in terms of how they can try and resolve some of these aging infrastructures, subsequent to that avoiding the urgent, maintenance plans that are taking place. And these are some of the resolutions I think will be coming out of that summit there as to how can this matter be taken forward and how they can try and protect water security and of course the infrastructure, not only in Gauteng but of course across the country.
No, absolutely. Pule Letshwiti-Jones following that story for us then. It's very interesting, Pule. I'm sure you'll give us an update a little bit later on if they have stuck to the time limit, because we'll remember a few months ago there was a water maintenance program happening and then residents ended up without water for days on end. So I suppose we just hope that they will be sticking to the time limit of 6 to 3 as you've just mentioned to us.
Yeah, definitely. We're hoping that they can adhere to this time protocol. In fact, what we will be doing right now is actually speaking to some of the residents in these areas that have been affected. We understand that there's been a complaint about some residents saying at some points there were, maintenance plans taking place in the area. But of course, after the digging up had happened, they left the area exposed like that. And this is, of course, has affected the infrastructure, leading to no water supply for about a period of about 2 weeks. So that was quite problematic. And we're hoping that the Johannesburg municipality and of course Rand Water can try and act swiftly on this move. But you'd remember as well similar complaints coming from the city of Tshwane, and there seems to be some sort of frustrations coming from residents saying they're hoping that these issues may be looked into. So one will look at the aging infrastructure, but on the other hand of what is happening, one will also be expecting key resolutions coming from the National Water Summit as to how can these issues be resolved, not always going back on having to look onto the aging infrastructure, the issue of water security, and ensuring that residents can of course pay for their bills but at the very same time receive what they're paying for.
No, absolutely.